Okay, thank you. In the film you saw some of the facts about the park and also some of the facilities which we try to provide for the private companies, like as tax exemption and some facilities for their activity. Now I want to explain that what do we do for the facilitate the commercialization of new ideas and technologies. Next slide, please. Next. These are some definitions. In this slide, I want to show you that from the idea to the market, there is this valley between. Most of the ideas go to this valley and never can gain to the market. And this is the case, this is the distance, this is the gap. We try to fill it to help an idea to reach the market. Next, please. Next. Next. There are some necessities for an owner of idea which want to change his or her idea to the product which can gain the market. There are, for example, financial aspect is very important, marketing is very important, networking, as mentioned in one of the presenters before the launch, was very important also, and some other cases like as training and human resources. Next. In this diagram, you can see the, please click on. Okay, in this diagram, you can see the situation of I can say, the idea from the beginning steps to the final steps from financial aspects. For example, in the first step, they need some seed monies. After that, you should find some angels for them to invest on the idea. After a while, when they gain to the some point when the revenue and expenditures are the same, you can find some VCs, venture capitalists for them. After that, you can get the loan from the banks and some funds, and finally they will get to maturity. In this diagram, please click on diagram to see the total text more. Yeah, more. According to this diagram, we are trying to provide various kind of financial facilities for the companies from the first step to the final step, according to their need, according to their assessment, and according to what do they do. In past, we had some kind of companies, for example, in the earliest stage, and they got the loans from the bank, and after a while they failed to bankruptcy. And this was a fault. And from another side, we had some mature companies which tried to get seed monies. They never need seed monies, and there were no solution for them. According to this diagram, we provide various kind of loans, facilities, and financial cases for the companies to help them to commercialize their technologies and their ideas and to reach the market. Next slide, please. Next. Yes. I want to name some of the services inside the park. Some of them was mentioned in the film. For example, one position, which park is next to Tehran, low-price land infrastructure. But the main point is the service center which we develop inside the park. Next slide, please. In this area, inside the park, we try to gather all the services the companies need in the park at the same place. It's a single window. In the first block, you can see the administration office and also some of the multi-tenant buildings and offices to rent to the companies. In the second part, you can see the conference hall, some data banks, some libraries, and some service center and consultancies which provide professional services for the companies. And in third part, we can see the general services like as hotel, like as nursery, mosque, restaurant, and everything they need inside the park. So in this part, the companies never need to go outside of the park. We try to decrease the cost of the companies. We try to decrease their effort for gain and for access to the services they need. Next slide. As mentioned in the film, all of the companies in the park are free to pay any kind of tax for 20 years. This is very important for them, and also the rules for labor activities are to some extent flexible. Rules for foreign investor are so flexible. When a foreign investor wants to come inside the park, they are free to transfer the currencies to the home country, and also they can have the 100% ownership of the land and also the building. Next. As I mentioned, we have various kind of financial support for the companies. We have venture capital institute. We have 2 funds inside the park. We have MOU and contract with some banks for providing low-rate loans for the companies. Next. We have a technology service center which provides kind of consultancies in many fields they need inside the park. Next. You can see here some of the main gain of the park. This is the cooperation between the industry and university. Most of the companies in the park now are working with university. They use the labs, the university professors and graduates, and also students are working and doing their research project inside the companies. They define trainee opportunities for the students of the university, and these are some results for last year. Next, please. Next. Also, we developed some entities for providing services, commercialization services for the companies, not only for the park, for whole country, in many fields, like you see in the slide, in marketing services, legal services, and providing feasibility study, everything they need. Next, please. I had to ignore some slides because of the shortage of time. We developed a network which we call it National Tech Mart. This is kind of technology market and technology real estate for transferring and exchanging the technology between the owner of technologies and owners of industries. Next. This is and we also developed this network between the 8 countries, developing 8 countries all over the world, and this network now is so active. They are trying to transfer technologies from one country to other country. They are trying to develop some kind of, I can say, bilateral and trilateral events in this field. Next. Another case is a center which we call it Innovation Accelerator Center. I think some of you are familiar with Startup Weekend, which is an event for I can say identifying new ideas and make the investor familiar with the ideas and new technologies. In this center, we try to support some startup weekends to help, and during this startup weekend we invite investors to make familiar with new ideas, new technologies, to gather up a team, and after that it will be the first step for generating a new company in the field of the technology. Next. Next, please. Next. And next. These are some of the entities and organizations we try to establish inside the park for providing commercialization services for the companies. Next. Next. And next. Okay, we have also some events to help the commercialization of technologies. I only will name 1 or 2 of them, and finally you will see a film about one of these events. Next, please. One of our events is Mustafa Prize. Mustafa Prize is one prize. It is very same to Nobel Prize, but it is for Muslim countries and Muslim scientists, and it is for, I can say, the idea was for 2 years ago, but the first round of the prize was held, I think, 7 months ago in Tehran, and it is in 3 fields of technology: nanotechnology, biotechnology, ICT. During By providing this event and the Mustafa Prize, we try to help the scientists to introduce each other, to define some kind of synergetic programs and projects. Next. Yes, this is the photo from the ceremony of the Mustafa Prize in Tehran. Next. And next. These are two laureates of first round of Mustafa Prize, one scientist from Jordan and one scientist from Singapore. Both of them are Muslim scientists, one in nanotechnology and one other in biotechnology. Next, please. Another event is Innotex. Innotex is an exhibition, is international exhibition for innovation and technology. We start this exhibition from 2002 in Tehran. 2012 in Tehran, and in fifth round of this exhibition in Tehran, 3 months ago, we had the presence of high-tech companies from 15 countries all over the world, and now I can invite you all for the next round of the Innotex in Tehran in next May, I hope so. Next, please. And we have some kind of national technology forums. In these forums, we try to introduce new technologies to the industries, and also sometimes industries talk about their needs in the field of technology. And these forums try to link between the inventors and innovators and also the industries. Next. And this is the process for the startups which need to establish inside the park. At the first step, we place them in our accelerators to gather up the team, to provide business plan and feasibility studies. After a while, they will transfer to our incubator to work on their idea, to make it to prototyping, and after that, they will establish inside the park. Next. In the startup weekends, as I mentioned, we had more than 120 events in the country by presence of more than 12,000 students, young students and graduates. Next. And these are some photos from startup weekends and the event, which gather the owners of idea and the teams to work on the idea. Next. And also these are some other photos from these events. Next. Next, please. And this photo is from the area of the park. Please click on it. In our technology incubator, we have many kind of members. Part of members are members of the technology incubator. They have small office in the incubator and now are working there. Part of them are working in the accelerator center. They are in early stages and they are trying to find their team. They are trying to provide the business plan. And some of them are now outside of the incubator. We have kind of virtual incubator, and we try to provide many facilities for them to start their business, but not inside the park. It will be outside of the park. Next. Next, please. I want to talk about some of the achievements of the park in many fields. For example, about the export, we are now, our member company now are exporting to more than 25 countries all over the world. And this is statistic for a country like as Iran, in the situation of sanction. And in the Middle East, I think it's not bad, especially in the field of high-tech. Next, please. I will name some of them. IMOD is a drug for, I can say, HIV. This is unique, as I know, all over the world. And now we are exporting this drug to many countries, especially in Africa. Sinovac is another drug, which is for MS, multiple sclerosis. And I think, as I know, there are only 4 countries all over the world now are producing drug for this kind of disease, and Iran is one of them. Next, please. Some other drugs like as pegaprofen, like as vaccine for hepatitis B. These are other drugs which now we have the technology and now we are exporting to other countries. Next, please. The angioparse is a drug for diabetic foot ulcer, you know. According to statistics, annually, more than 15,000 people all over the world have to cut the food because of the diabetic ulcer. And this drug make it better and better. It is a unique drug all over the world, and it is completely herbal drug by Iranian technology, and now they are producing it completely in Iran. Next. This device is electrosurgical. At the first step, when they came to our technology park, there were 3 students from Tehran University, and their thesis was for producing this device, electrosurgical. This device is for surgery room and help the surgery to cut and coat the blood at the same time. And this is very necessary for all the surgery room. They started the case in 2002, sorry, at the first steps of the park, they started the case. After, I can say 14 years now, they are one of the good exporters of the park to many countries, especially to, I can say Mexico, to many European countries, and also to some Asian countries. Next. This device is for broadcasting. Many times I mention this device as one of the benefits of sanction. You know, sanction totally is not a good thing, but before sanction, our broadcasting organization totally buy these devices from abroad, from other countries. After the sanction, there was unable to buy these devices from other countries, and so our engineers start to work on this device, and now they are one of the producer of this technology, of this device, and we are exporting to 4 countries the devices. This was one of the benefits of sanction for us. And next, these are other drugs. For example, this is a combination of nanotechnology and biotechnology. Nanodoxazone, this is for cancer, some kind of cancer. This is very good device, good drug for them. Next.
Yes.